All right. Welcome, everyone, to Write the Docs 2023. It works. Thank you all for joining. My name is Eric Holscher. I'm one of the co-founders of Write the Docs, and I'm here today to welcome you to the conference and just explain a little bit about what we're doing here. I would like to start off today with a land acknowledgement of the land that we're on. So we acknowledge this land rests on the traditional village sites of the Multnomah, Wasco, Cowlitz, Clackamas, Chinook, Tualatin, Molalla, and many other tribes who made their homes along the Columbia River. We take this opportunity to thank the original caretakers of this land. Thank you all for that. We did that when we were virtual as well, and there's a really cool website that you can go on and kind of learn more about the history of the land that you call home as well. So I would recommend looking into that. It is eye-opening. Welcome all to the new venue. We're super excited that you're here. As you might have noticed this morning, we're still trying to figure out how to use it. You're still trying to figure out how to use it. We will all figure it out together. So thank you for working with us, kind of understanding how the venue flows, how it fits together. We're really excited about it. It's a lovely space. As you might have been here yesterday for the writing day, I hope you get out and enjoy the patio, get up on the roof deck at noon, it opens, weather dependent. But that was one of the big things that made us consider moving away from the Crystal, was kind of wanting to have access to outdoor space, wanting to have more windows that opened, wanting to have a little bit of a larger venue so that we can kind of grow into it into the future. We were really kind of hitting the limits of the Crystal. So yeah, we're really hopeful that this new venue works out well. We've been really enjoying seeing everyone using it yesterday, and we're going to keep using it more today. One of my other favorite parts about this venue is where it is located. I love downtown Portland, but what stole my heart in this city is the east side. We are on the east side of Portland. We are right on about 14th Avenue. And when I first moved here in 2010, I lived like 4 blocks south of here, and I rode my bike everywhere, and it was just like a really magical experience in my life. And having the venue here and allowing you to experience this part of the city that a lot of people don't necessarily see as they come in and visit is a privilege for me. So I would recommend, if you have a chance, just leave the venue and walk to the east or the south through some of the neighborhoods. There's flowers, there's trees, it's just a really vibrant, lovely, lovely place. The rhododendrons are in bloom, highly recommended. So, as I mentioned, we're in a new venue. There's lots of new logistics that I would like to talk about before we talk about the conference itself. So there's a quiet room directly out there, the big, huge stairs. It is kind of behind those on the second floor. There's a lactation room downstairs, kind of tucked back behind the show bar. Ask at Reg, there's a code to get into that if you need to get in there. We have restrooms on each floor, kind of around the side. There are also gender-neutral bathrooms downstairs near show bar. And then outside, as you already probably figured out, is registration and welcome wagon. They're going to be out there during the day. You can ask them questions, logistics, that kind of stuff. We will also be doing the Unconference downstairs, where the writing day was. There's snacks down there as well. It's a really lovely space, lots of tables set up. It also has access to the patio. So if it is not raining, it's great. You can grab your food, you can go outside, maybe wear a light jacket, maybe a raincoat. You know, it is Portland after all. And then tomorrow morning, we are going to do a sponsor expo, which will be outside of the main venue. We'll have tables set up out there. So a bunch of our sponsors with jobs and building stuff for docs people, they will be around hanging out and talking to you about that. So we have one schedule update. One of our speakers' flights was delayed. So our speaker that was at 10:15 today, we've actually moved them to the end of the schedule tomorrow. So instead of ending a little bit early, we're going to kind of give them a chance to come up on stage and speak. And then we took today's last talk and moved it to the 10:15 slot. So we're going to end a little bit earlier today. We're going to go a little bit later tomorrow. The online schedule's up to date. Hopefully it will not change even more, but things happen. All right, that is the logistics. We are in a new space, but we are trying to kind of have the same event, right? We really think it's kind of magical, the community we've been able to build over the years. And it's so lovely to see folks in person after 4 years. Yeah, it was so fun seeing people yesterday for the writing day. And yeah, just the whole kind of getting back in person, going on the hike, all that stuff. Just, you can feel the energy coming back into a venue, and we're making it our own, which is, it's always fun. So you're here. You've made it. It might be your first year. What is it that we're actually doing at this event? Why are we all here, right? Other than the existential dread that comes with that question. What we're really trying to do is build community. This has been a huge part of my life, is my professional community, my personal community. And that's really something we've been able to do over the years in this space, is build connection between people. And that is really the foundation of Write the Docs. That's why we have the Slack network, that's why we have meetups, that's why we have the conferences. All of this stuff is about connecting people together and really building professional networks where people can kind of learn and grow and really just, become the best versions of themselves. And so that's really the goal of this event. So when we think about who's in the room, I think about a lot of people. We call them documentarians, just to confuse the venue staff so they think we're talking about film documentaries. But no, we basically needed a word to convey this concept, right, of everyone who cares about documentation. It is not just a technical writer. It is not just an open source developer who wants people to use their code. There are a lot of people in an organization, a lot of different personas in life that actually care about, documentation, technical communication, all of these things. You have developers, writers, DevRel, marketing, community folks, support folks. I've talked to so many people just yesterday that were like, I did support and I wanted to write things down so we got fewer support issues and users could help themselves and it's a better experience. You have people that come in and it's like, we want to sell the product, but like people fall off when they can't figure out how to use it. A lot of people kind of come through documentation and really grow to see the value of it within an organization. And we want this room to be a place for all of them. So this is our 10th Portland conference, which is kind of amazing. 3 of them were virtual, so count them as you will. But the event did start in 2013. And so we really did think about trying to do something special this year. And then we realized, we just need to do the event well, right? We're like, yeah, we're gonna do even more for our first person in conference after 4 years. We're gonna knock it out of the park. And we're like, let's just actually make it happen. That will be our gift to the community, is making it. So maybe we'll make stickers next year and just kind of conveniently forget. It's the 10th anniversary of the first event. We can play with numbers, right? But yeah, so it's our 10th conference. It's our first time at this venue. Oh. So we still have no idea what we're doing again. I always love this slide because I think it's important to have humility. We have ideas, we have thoughts, we think we know how to do events, but we really don't know it all. We don't know how to use this venue. We don't know how people exist in the world. The industry is changing. Lots of things are happening. And so we really come to these events with a sense of humility, and we really want you to tell us what you need them to be. So this is our idea of an event. This is what we've been able to do this year. But we're going to do it again next year, hopefully, and we want to make it better. So really, this is an ask for you to give us feedback. We'll send out a survey at the end. Talk to the volunteers and the staff in the nicest way possible if you have feedback about the current event. But yeah, we're really trying to keep making it better, and that's kind of our goal. So you're here. We want you to kind of build a community. So what does that mean while you're actually here? How do you kind of do that, right? So your job while you're here, my top priority for you is to try to make connections with people and to eventually become friends. There are people in the room here that I know consider themselves friends with each other through this event. I have seen lots of people here that I am so excited to see. That's a huge part of it, right? That's community, right? When you go from being an acquaintance to a contact, to a friend, right? it really does change your professional existence if you have friends in the industry. You can ask those scary questions too, talk about salary, talk about issues you're having. I think it really, really makes your life more fulfilled in that way. I also hope you learned something. We have this lovely stage. We have lots of really wonderful presenters that are going to be sharing their knowledge, their experience with you. There's also the Unconference downstairs, where people will also be sharing lots of conversation, perspective, all sorts of different places. So the people in this room are who you're going to be learning from. And it's super exciting that we're all here and we're all able to kind of work together to kind of teach and learn. And I also want you to have fun, right? Like, work doesn't have to suck. So we do have kind of, part of the conference is meant to be fun. That's why we have a lovely venue. It's how we have the Unconference. We have the patio, the roof deck. We'll have the social event tonight. That is also, you are allowed to like enjoy yourself while you're talking about work. It is a lot more fun that way. Now that you know your job, how are we actually interacting with each other in this space to lead to that outcome, right? So we really try to think about how we want people in this space to act, right? We want you to be welcoming. There's a lot of new people in the room. There's a lot of people traveling from other places. Welcome them into the conference, the community, the city. And we want you to be open, right? Like, share your knowledge, kind of be a little bit vulnerable, and kind of be open with each other. And when people are like that, please be supportive and positive back, right? Kind of like working together in a spirit of collaboration is really how the conference becomes magical, right? Like the feeling in the room that comes from having people act that way is pretty special. And that's something we were able to do in the past. Somehow we were able to do it online, which I was somehow amazed by. And I'm hoping we'll continue to do it into the future. But it's really up to all of you, right? I can just stand up here and, draw stuff on the slides. But it's all of you that are going to be engaging with each other and kind of having that spirit, adding the energy to the blank space of the venue. So, in that vein, we have a couple things that I want to reference. One is the Pac-Man Rule. So when you're standing in a group of humans, always leave room for one more person to join, right? Have you ever walked into a room and everybody's just like in circles and you just like feel physically excluded from a space? That's what we want to do differently this year. I did not edit this slide from last year, you can tell. So that's one that has really been effective over the years, is walking into a room when somebody joins, just kind of do a little awkward stutter step and leave a little bit of space for folks to come in. It makes a big difference in how it feels when people join a room. It makes it easier to meet other people, join groups. We also have the snowball rule, which is another one that a couple of people have referenced that have been here over the years, which is for every year you've attended, we encourage you to meet one new person each day for the number of years. So this is my 10th year at Write the Docs. So I am hoping to meet 10 new people each day. If this is your first year, you only have one new person. It could be me. Come up and say hi. It could be one of our other staff. It can be anybody. But really the goal here is to make sure the people that have been here the longest are the most responsible for making the community feel welcoming. Because I think that's really important. We don't want to have an old guard that just like hangs out with each other and the new people who don't know anybody. That's just like a terrible room to walk into. So it is really the responsibility of the people that have been here the longest to make the conference feel the best for everybody else. And in that vein, you have permission to meet everyone here. All of the speakers, all of the staff, they're all just like you. They care about the same things. Nobody here is above anyone else. I took my badge off so I looked fancy on stage, but you'll notice the badges are all identical. We are all the same here. You will talk to somebody, and then they will be on stage an hour later, and you wouldn't even have known they were a speaker. And I just think that's such a magical experience that I really love that we're able to do that each year. All right, so that is how we are all interacting. We have a few other kind of things to mention about the physical space here. We do have a lanyard system, so the staff have blue lanyards. Red lanyards are folks that don't want to have their pictures published. And basically just, ask for consent before you publish a group photo, always, let alone if somebody has a red lanyard, especially. But we do have that just because there are folks who don't want to be published on the internet. We also have the health and safety policy. As you noticed when you walked in, we are requiring vaccination or negative tests for all the folks. We have outside space. There is physically distanced seating options. So for those of you that don't know, there is space up in the balcony as well. We did kind of undersell the venue and get a larger venue as part of that as well, just so folks don't feel kind of crammed in to the space. So we are thinking that through as well. Thank you all for kind of working with us at registration. We also have a code of conduct. We take it seriously. We have, we know how to actually respond to incidents, which is always, the real test of a code of conduct. But really, it's just a minimum, right? We expect everyone, as I already said, to exist in this space in a really lovely way. But we also understand that things happen. So, if you ever feel uncomfortable, if anybody makes you feel like you don't belong here, that is not okay, and you should report that to the staff. You can talk to somebody at registration. You can talk to anyone that's wearing a blue lanyard. You can also email us if that feels more comfortable at conduct@writethedocs.org. And if you're not sure if something's a code of conduct issue, right, if it just was a little bit weird, we still want to know that stuff. We might not act on it immediately, but if somebody reports, weird things about the same person a couple times, that might start to give us a little bit more information that we need just to make sure this is the venue and the space that we want it to be. All right, so we are having a conference. You all have a job to do. So what is actually happening? What is coming up on the stage? What is happening elsewhere? I'm going to talk a little bit about just all the different events that we have so you have a little bit of a better sense of what's going on. So this is the main stage. You've made it. We have 2 days of content that's pretty wide-ranging. We really appreciate everyone that submitted talks. They don't all get accepted, but we're super excited about the talks that we do have. As we noticed, we have captioning, hopefully saying my words at the moment. Thank you, Vanessa, who has been our captioner for many years. It is a real human. She gave a lightning talk. You should look it up on YouTube. It's wonderful. We also, I mentioned we had the physically distanced seating upstairs. We also have some accessibility seating if you need a better view of the captioning as well. Right, we're also doing Q&A. That is another big thing. There are chairs we will bring out here, not after my talk, but after the other talks. We will have a MC engaging with our speakers and asking questions, and you can go online to ask questions of them. So we will have a QR code that shows up on the stage for that. Downstairs, as I mentioned, is the Unconference. So this is basically just a user-generated set of conversations. There's a board with time slots and numbers, and a bunch of tables with the corresponding numbers. So you are able to basically sign up for anything you want to talk about, and other people in the room who are also excited about that can come and join you at that time. You don't need to sign up to attend or anything like that. Just go and look at the board. We also have an online version of the board that is periodically updated from the physical board. But the physical board downstairs is the canonical source. We also have lightning talks. So these are 5-minute talks. So you might not have planned on it, but you could get up on this stage today. Doesn't that sound exciting? No, not nervous at all. Don't worry, you'll be great. But no, it is really wonderful to have folks. My first talk at a conference ever was a lightning talk. It's a really great chance for people to get the opportunity to practice speaking in front of a group on a really fancy stage, without having to have it be a super stressful thing. So I do recommend that. You can sign up at registration. I believe it's open until the end of the morning coffee break, which is 10:30, 11, somewhere in there. But you can just go and sign up after this if you want. So, as I mentioned, we have the Sponsor Expo on Tuesday morning. This is also historically the job fair, but we extended it this year to folks that also make kind of products for documentation, which is also of interest. That will basically be Tuesday morning. It will be outside in the hallway. So you can go talk to folks about jobs, talk to folks about the products that they're building for documentarians. So pretty excited about that as well. As I mentioned, tonight we will have a social event. It'll be from 7 to 9. It will be a Loyal Legion, which is about 6 blocks that way. You can find it on the internet. And we'll have snacks and drinks. So alcoholic drinks, non-alcoholic drinks as well are included. Please bring your badge, as that will be how you will be able to get free drinks. So very important. You don't have to wear it. You can keep it in a purse or something if you prefer. But it is a useful identifier. So, food and drinks. We are doing something new this year, which is not giving you lunch. I don't know who has ever had a catered lunch that they've been excited for. But like Portland is like one of the best food cities in the world, and we don't want to give you like crappy boxed lunch. Plus, it's just a super exciting way to force you to go out and actually explore the neighborhood that I love. So that's the biggest change. There are snacks downstairs, there's coffee, all that stuff's the same. But for lunch, you will actually go out into the world. It will be an adventure. Hopefully you will not get rained on, but you know, we're all adults here. Please bring an umbrella. And so we did make the lunch break a little bit longer. It's 80 minutes, so you can kind of go out, find somewhere to eat, come back. We have a really good list of recommendations on the website as well. And then the venue also has a coffee shop and a bar located in it as well that have food at various times. So that is an option as needed. So there's a few other spaces that are notable. We do have the Welcome Wagon, which is just kind of a place where you can they did a bunch of tours of the venue, welcome people into the space. If you have any other kind of like questions about the community itself, more than like logistics of the event, they're a great resource. They've been here a number of years, they're Portland locals. They can answer a lot of those questions about Portland, about food, about kind of the community itself. The Crystal didn't have hallways. It's basically just a big room and another big room and tiny little corridors. But we have like beautiful hallways here, which I'm very excited for. You might have noticed there's lockers, just to like really kind of cement those terrifying school dreams. But I really love the hallways. The sponsors are gonna be out there tomorrow. You'll be able to kind of chat with them. It's just a lovely space to kind of engage with other folks in a nice way, have conversations, all that good stuff. And I did wanna mention one more time, the roof deck, if it's not raining, is like so beautiful. You get a beautiful view of the city. You can see all the surrounding hills. The city's so green. And there's the patio right outside of the Unconference area that's super accessible as well. All right, so I just wanted to say thank you to everybody. We have all of our speakers, all of the kind of conference staff, all of the venue staff, all of our sponsors, and all of the attendees, right? Especially this year, I know it's been a little bit harder for folks to kind of make it to the conference. Maybe some travel budgets get cut, but we really appreciate that everybody's here. And I've been talking to this room yesterday to practice things, and it doesn't feel the same way. So let me just say that it's much more enjoyable to talk to a room full of humans. But really, like, all of you coming, all of you believing in us, all of you working to make the community what it is why this event happens every year. It's why we keep doing it. We really do appreciate you. So these are our lovely sponsors this year. You'll be able to talk with some of them tomorrow in the hallway. These are all of our lovely staff humans. We usually bring them all up on stage, but I realized we didn't actually coordinate that because we haven't done this in a little while. So we'll try to bring them up all on stage at the closing, so you can see them all in person. Sorry about that. I should have coordinated that. I forgot. But they're lovely. Please say thank you to them. People have put in a lot of work to make this event happen. So please stay in touch. We have a hashtag that you could use on whatever social media app you now prefer. We have a Slack network as well that you can chat with folks. We'll be doing conference announcements in there. It's also great after the event. And I think that is it. I am apparently exactly on time because I do somewhat know what I'm still doing. But really, thank you all for coming. We really appreciate all of the energy, all the life you bring to the room. And we're just so excited to have you all here. And we hope it is a lovely Write the Docs Portland 2023. And we will be back on the stage in about 4 or 5 minutes with our first talk. So welcome all, and please have fun.